if the right person listens to this or sees this, within the next 60 days, they could just change exactly what their trajectory is at the job they're in, or if they switch up somewhere else.
The way to actually start to be seen anywhere that you are is to be diligent. Like
100%.
Start doing the stuff that you're not supposed to do. If you put all the effort, eventually you're gonna get your gratification, whether it's in that place or someone else is gonna see you.
A job should do two things for you. It should help you earn, right? That's the money that you get, and it should help you learn. The better your skill or the more skills you have, I have to take that into account. Just little things. They're not super hard. They don't take a lot of time. And it's like the ripple effect it will have of you doing something like that would be amazing.
If you wanna get promoted, you gotta have a set of skills that separates you from the rest. Hello everyone, welcome back to MotorCast, your favorite podcast out there in the automotive industry. Today we have my friend, my guest, my partner in crime.
Brother from another mother.
My brother from another mother. After 3 episodes that we were not recording in our regular set, we were out in Lexington, Kentucky. We had incredible guests, Evan and Charlie. So we were very excited. A lot of love in those episodes. How are you today, bro?
I'm good, man. And just on that note with the Lexington ones, man, that was really fun. I felt really excited that we were able to bring on professionals that just know more than you and I do, and get to that next level of knowledge to bring value to everybody listening and watching. But then the other part that was really exciting to me is anybody and everybody that does listen and watch, now they get to meet our friends and our people that I think that's super awesome. And that was really exciting. But all in all, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to rock and roll. Depending on, I guess, when people are watching this, it's already been about roughly a quarter of the year. A quarter of the year is gone. A little bit.
I think it's gonna be way mid-April.
Oh yeah,
probably May.
It's a lot happened, so it's just exciting to see. How MotorCast is transforming. All the love and just the value that we get from everybody else, all the love and value that we get to deliver to everybody else. So it's just been really fun.
Let me tell you something that just came back into my mind that Rahim is saying. There's a lot of things happening with MotorCast and different things. And I know that Rahim and I had this conversation already, but he's very shy. He doesn't want to say this. But on February, we met, we were able to accomplish more than we have accomplished in sold units in motivation.
Oh yeah.
Or more, how can I say it? In motivation history, in February, which is the shortest month of the year, we sold more units than we have ever sold in a month. We broke a record. So I really believe that it is a lot of teamwork, a lot of different pieces, but I really believe that MotorCast is helping us do that.
Dude,
as well.
I definitely think MotorCast has been a part of it, and I share this with you. But just the most humbling thing ever is hearing one of I had Tay. You guys know Tay. She helped tell us about the taxes and stuff like that, which trucks to buy. She had a client that bought a Nissan Titan from us, Benjamin. If you're watching this, I appreciate you, man. He bought a Nissan Titan from us, and he got it shipped, right? And right after the process was complete, before he got the vehicle, Tay had something going on where she had to leave for a couple days. And so while she was gone, I called Benjamin. Hey, what's going on, Benjamin? This is Rahim. Tay's not going to be available, but I want to make sure that you have somebody here that could talk to you, blah, blah. He's like, dude, I know you from the videos. I was like, yo, that is so freaking awesome. That is so awesome to me.
Yeah, so that's exactly how I feel like. First of all, we're a pair of superstars out there.
Straight up, man.
But this is what we thought about almost a year ago, when we thought about MotorCast. When we were thinking, let's build a community, let's build a relationship that actually people, regardless where they are, they can jump into whatever, and they actually can have a relationship with us. and they can feel free to reach out and buy from us, knowing that that they know us already.
Absolutely, man. And buying from us would be awesome. But just like if we can help change somebody else's life just by anything that we do here, bro, I think that's the win.
And that particular thing is the thing that I love the most of having Charlie, specifically Charlie, because it's for the people that are considering buying new vehicles or considering buying a used vehicle. I actually know the story. And as you were saying, it's not about if they buy to us or not, because we're very open. Like in that episode, hey, go buy from Charlie. This is his website. This is his dealership. Go. That's exactly it. We're always trying to help different people, regardless if they are buying, they're not buying, they have bad credit, they have
Whatever
the case might be. So that's the thing that I love about all that we're doing here.
Absolutely. And then speaking of helping people, how are we helping today?
So today's topic is how to get promoted at your job, whether it's a car dealership or whatever you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you know, just so you guys understand, the reason that Homer and we have the secret sauce, right? I am not shy to say, like, yo, Homer has figured it out. Whether it was here at Motivation or it was wherever it was, or even if it was in a different industry, he was going to have the same trajectory or better, right? I have figured it out. You could drop me at a car dealership back at square one, and I know what it'll take to run right back up the ladder. So I was thinking, and I was like, okay, you know, Homer has taught me we have to bring value, we have to educate, or we have to entertain, right? Mm-hmm. So in this one, I'm pretty sure the amount of value that we could bring to somebody else, like I highly feel, I don't know what the word is, but I'm so passionate that, like, I think that if the right person listens to this or sees this, within the next 60 days, they could just change exactly what their trajectory is at the job they're in, or if they switch up somewhere else.
I totally agree. And thank you for saying that I figure it out. But that specifically, it's it. I mean, one thing that when we were talking about this topic, I just, I don't know it, or no one knows, but it's something that I've been trying to do with our receptionist right here in Motivation, is that I'm always coming to her and asking her for help, specific help. Very small stuff in my mind, but very big stuff in her mind. So I remember during this week I asked her for something that is very basic, to be honest, something that if we have it, it's cool, but if we don't have it, it's all right too, right? But that day when I was telling her, hey, can you help me do this? And she was very confused on that thing, right? I remember that I told her, hey, remember, because I when I have a very close relationship with people, I love to tell my story of how I came to Motivation and how I developed into the position that I operate today, right? So I told her, did you know that I started here? So she already knew, right? So what I told her is that what I started doing was changing the game in different or little things that people didn't actually know that they needed, or that Motivation didn't actually know, like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. So for me, the way to start getting promoted or not promoted, but actually start to be seen anywhere that you are, is to be diligent. Like 100%. Start doing the stuff that you're not supposed to do, right? Stop doing only the things that you're supposed to do, but start doing all the things that you are not supposed to do. Like, for example, that day we were, have you ever seen that? Yeah, you know what that is. It's that contact sheet that she does, like, and she brings it to everyone, right? So that's the thing that I was telling her to do. So remember that we had that project in which we have the signature of every email. So it was a hard time for me to get every person's email. So I told her, hey, can you update this and start adding also their extension, their emails, and blah, 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 blah. And then during the process, she started thinking about more stuff that we can actually start adding to it. So that's the first thing that I would say someone can actually bring to their life is start doing what you're not supposed to do. Start adding stuff to your table that you're not paid to do, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And my boy Homer just jumped straight into the pool. But if I could rewind a little bit, Homer, why should people even listen to you? Did you get promoted? Where did you start? Give me 20 seconds or less of where you started and where you are now in the auto industry.
Well, that's very good.
20 seconds or less.
20 seconds or less. So I started as a porter. I was running errands and parking vehicles in the dealership. And in less than a year, I would say, I was able to be the marketing director of Motivation. During the process, things were changing. That's the thing that I was doing.
So, and you were porter, and then you were a photographer, and then you were marketing person,
Yeah.
per se. And then there was like a marketing manager, right? But it didn't quite have the oomph that the director has, and now you're the marketing director of every location that we will ever have.
Right.
So that just to give you guys an idea, that's why Homer is going to be a professional when it comes to telling you how you can get promoted. Quick snapshot of mine: detail, salesperson, sales manager, general manager, soon to be owner. That's my trajectory.
Not yet.
Right there. Not yet, but it's happening. Coming soon to a theater near you.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
And
I'm gonna be your partner. Sorry to interrupt.
absolutely. Coming soon. Partnership dealership. It's a theater near you. And like I really boiled it down, right? So when the thought came to my mind, okay, how can we provide people value? And I was like, okay, I really like the episode you came up with of what it's like working in a dealership, right? And for me, I could really only think of positives. And then I thought, okay, this is if somebody wants to start and just get a regular job and change their life dramatically, or even if like that's not important, that's not going to be for everybody, right? I don't want to change my life dramatically, but I do want to get a job. And most human beings want some success, right? They want to move up, they want to get a pay raise or whatever it is, right? So I boiled those things down to here are a few different things. I don't know how many there are, but there's a few different things that you can do, right? Homer just talked about one of them, being diligent, right? Doing all the things that maybe are not required from you, doing all the things that that you think you should be doing, but you maybe don't necessarily do. And like I wanted to turn that to the other side of it. I think a lot of people just shoot themselves in the foot, and they have just like, in my opinion, the wrong mentality, or maybe it's not the wrong mentality, a different perspective of it than mine. A lot of people will just say, well, that's not my job, so I'm not going to do that. And to me, that's like as toxic as it gets, because it's not only toxic to the environment you work in, but it's toxic to yourself, right? Like, just because you're not going to get gratification right this second, I'm not going to do it. And I think that's one of where the biggest differences lies, is getting something done just because you're going to get fulfilled by it, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
right?
my perspective, that particularly is something that I've heard a lot, that phrase in different places, including here at Motivation when I just came into the company. And one thing, the gratification part that he mentioned, that's the thing for me that is very important. That I'm a true believer. I'm a true believer in God, and there's one Bible verse that says, God is not keeping nothing. Eventually, you're gonna get your reward. So whether it's in that same place where it is in somewhere else, if you put all the effort, eventually you're going to get your gratification, whether it's in that place or someone else is going to see you or whatever. People would say life is the universe, however you want to picture it, you're going to get your reward regardless.
100%. And for me, it boils down to a job should do two things for you. It should help you earn, right? That's the money that you get, and it should help you learn. If it's doing one of those things, fantastic. If it's doing both of those things, dude, that is freaking amazing, and you've hit the lottery. And I think that's the part that I want people to understand is the instant gratification is that you get to learn something that you've never done before, and you'll be able to apply it somewhere else, right? Because I pay based on skill level, right? If somebody wants to come to Motivation, it's how much you're going to get paid is eventually, right? Culture is important, how they are as a person, all that is important, but eventually the skill level has to come into play. And the better your skill or the more skills you have, I have to take that into account, right? Something as simple as just because somebody speaks Spanish, that's a skill. And especially imagine if you didn't grow up speaking Spanish, but you took the time to learn Spanish, now that's a skill that you're going to get paid for. And right in that moment, when you're learning Rosetta Stone or whatever you're doing, you're not going to get the instant gratification, but it's gonna compound later on. So I think that is super important. Being diligent and doing all the things that, again, need to get done, whether it's your job or not. I think that one quality that gets slept on a lot is becoming the best at whatever your job is, right? So like for a dealership, let's say you're the car wash guy, or let's say you're the photographer, or you're the reception, being the best at that job. Like one thing that I was so focused on when I was washing cars was, I'm going to wash cars better than anybody else. I'm going to clean this car better than anybody else. When they open this vehicle, they're going to feel like, dude, whoever did this was going to be amazing. And that was my instant gratification. It had less to do with the owner of the dealership or them selling the car or anything like that. It was more about like, when they open this vehicle, they're going to want to know who was this guy, right? And it was just like about, a quality that thank goodness my mom raised me with was just working hard is a good thing. And like that's where it came in, right? So like one thing that I would want people to focus on, and this is across the board, whether it's you're at a dealership, you're in a different industry, you're at a big entry level position, or you're at the highest position, right? Becoming the best, like what is your exact job, and then becoming the best at everything that is on that list.
Right. I totally agree. And me as a probably I'm gonna put it as an example, but I'm a different father. I'm a different dad, and I always tell my daughters, what do you want to do? Okay, my daughter says the oldest, she loves volleyball. Okay, let's go to volleyball, but you're gonna be the best. If not, don't show up. Don't go. Make me waste my money. But if you go, you gotta be the best. And there's a mix of things. Obviously, you need to have the talent for that particular task, but don't ever tell me that you're not gonna put your 100% effort or your 800% effort. Shout out to our 800% friends.
800%.
Don't tell me that you're not gonna bring all the effort possible. Don't tell me that you're not gonna go the extra mile. If you wanna do this, if you wanna go into the next level, you gotta bring all the effort. Like, as you were saying, working hard is a good thing, but also in the process, that you gotta learn how to work smart.
Absolutely.
In order to work hard, or don't work harder, if that makes sense. So that's also, and I always say, I don't know how many skills do you have on your part of the topic, but on my side, and something that we have always spoken about is just have common sense.
Oh my God, that
common sense is something very how can I say it? It's just part of the process. If you want to grow, just common sense. Like common sense when I was at Potter was, then these floors are dirty. I'm just gonna swipe the floor. It's just common sense.
It's just common sense.
It's just common sense. If I see trash, it's just common sense. Pick it up and go throw it out. Whether you are a porter, receptionist, you work in construction, you work whatever, it's just common sense. If you see it, just move it.
And unfortunately, it's just not so common anymore. But like, just ask yourself the question that you might ask somebody else, or think about it to yourself for just 1 second before you just walk past it. Right? Like it's really just like, hey, this is what I see. What is the right thing to do about this situation? Come up with a couple ideas and then pick the one that makes the most sense to you in that situation, right? It's really that simple. And I think and then combining those two things, right? Diligence and becoming the best at whatever you're doing, having common sense, things like that. I think for me, and maybe I don't have a word for it, but what I want to do is create a gap, but also create a foundation where I have my hands in so many things that, number one, if I wasn't there, I would be missed. And then number two, it's so much easier to hire for the position that I have than it is for the one that I'm going to be, right? So let me give you an example. So and we'll stick to the dealership topic for a second, right? So entry-level positions at a dealership on the back of the house would go like detailer, it would go porter, and then it would go maybe lube tech, A-level technician, service writer, service director, and so on and so forth, right? On the front of the house, it might go salesperson or internet sales team, salesperson, maybe a sales leader or floor closer, a desk manager, a real sales manager, and right next to that would be like a finance manager, general sales manager, right? For admin, it might go like receptionist, admin clerk, maybe title clerk. I don't really know how the ladder works in the back, to be honest with you. Grace would probably better be able to tell us. Controller, and right, it goes on. So like, let's say you were at the entry level position. You're starting to grade the area of your doing. You can do more of what the position that you want to go to, and keep in mind, you can crossbreed, right? You can do the other positions too, whatever it is, right? You can, if you're detailing, like when I was a detailer, I might have put like, make sure that, okay, if I see that every single vehicle has to have the stock number, has to have the tags, have to have the buyer's guides, how can I make myself a part of that process? Or something as simple as like, okay, right before I finish my lunch or something, I'm going to take a quick walk and I'm going to give somebody a list of all the vehicles that are missing it. Just little things. They're not super hard. They don't take a lot of time. And it's like the ripple effect it will have of you doing something like that would be amazing, right? And then it's like, okay, now Homer's been doing a little bit of this on the porter side. And then I'm just thinking like, yo, it's so much easier to hire a detailer. It's a little bit harder to hire a porter because they need a good driving record. I need to be able to trust them. They need to be able to communicate well. They're going to be in front of customers sometimes. It's so much easier to hire for that, or so much harder to hire for the porter than it is for a detailer. Let me just get another detailer and let me just move Homer up, right? And now he's pretty much demanded a raise, a new position, and all that without saying any of those things, right? He's brought enough value to his manager where it's without him asking for anything, it's given to him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that is the magic right there.
I remember when I started, and in some point, and for this, I gotta say that I'm gonna be forever grateful with Kevin, because he's the one that Kevin, my cousin, is the one that told the people, hey, he's a very good photographer. No one knew that I was a photographer, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the photographer that Motivation used to have at that moment. He took some day off, but we had a bunch of vehicles in the back that needed pictures, right? Right in the middle, I was doing in my short or in my free times, I was taking pictures and just leaving the SD card to the photographer with, hey, all these pictures are already edited, just upload them. I don't know where to upload them, just do it. And at some point, whenever he was off, hey Homer, can you come? Can you help us shoot vehicles? I don't know if you ever heard that, but that was something that was happening. Eventually, I in 2 or 3 months, I was the photographer for both.
3 months for 2 stores, and it was easier to hire another porter or to figure that shit out than it was to get another photographer, dude. And that's really how it was. And nobody asked him to do the photos. You just did it yourself.
Right.
Why?
I mean, I just, one thing, first of all, I wanted to grow very fast, and I knew all my skills. That's something that is very important. Know your value, know your skills. That's one thing that I would say. Like if you go to whatever dealership, right, and someone gives you bringing the ball to you, and someone without saying something, or you change countries or whatever, and you have to restart. That's the thing that happened to me. And you get into a detailer position, you already know that you're a fucking beast selling, right? Eventually you're gonna be in 2 or 3 months. You're gonna be a fucking sales manager.
For sure.
That's the thing that happened to me. I knew my value. I knew my skills, and that's one thing that I wanna be very open and very clear when I say it. It's just like you gotta be learning outside whatever you're doing if you wanna grow, right?
Yeah.
If you wanna get promoted.
And I imagine.
And this topic is only for people that wants to get promoted, right? If you wanna get promoted, you gotta you gotta have a set of skills that separates you from the rest.
Absolutely. And I want to dive into one thing that you just talked about too is he didn't have to go take any photographer classes. He used a skill that he already had, right? And that's the point. If you already have a skill, if let's say he tried to go from being a porter to a salesperson, could he have done it? Sure, absolutely. But maybe the transition wouldn't have been as fast or as easy, right? Take the skills that you already have and use those, right? Like let's say you might be super good at, I don't know, like Microsoft Office or the Sheets, right? I suck at that, but let's say you're really good at it. There is a position in a dealership that demands somebody to be good at that. If you're a good photographer, right? Depending on the position you're in or you're trying to go to, if you're in sales, but you're actually a better leader or a better manager or better at customer service, whatever that part is, right? Use that skill that you already have, and then start applying that.
Totally.
Every time, like think of like a wall with holes, right? Every single hole, apply your skill, and use your skill to fill up that hole, fill it up, to the point where it's like, yo, obviously, Homer, I need you for way bigger and better things than what you're doing right now. Come with me, right? And that's really how simple it is, right? And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And so, like, Homer, one thing that I'm a little bit nervous about is, unfortunately, everybody that's watching this, their company is just not dedicated to growth or growing or promotions and things like that as we are or a lot of other companies are. Do you have like a way that somebody can spot that, or is the advice ever switch companies?
I mean, for me, I remember I had one experience like 15 years ago that I was very ready for a promotion in regards of that job, but also you gotta know what is the thing that you're missing. Probably leadership. In that part of my life, I was like a clown, bro. I was a complete clown. I was very good at my job, but I was a clown. I was like just in those free times, I was like a clown. So no one used to see that amount of respect. I didn't gain the respect from the leadership board. So that's one thing, and eventually I just went out of the company. I decided to leave. But one thing that I would love to say is that if you know that your roof is there and you're not gonna get promoted, there's plenty of positions or opportunities out there. Answering specifically to that question is, if you know that whether it's financially the company is not ready for you, whether it's the leadership is not ready for you, and you know your worth, as I said before, it's time to live. It's time to make a change. And go ahead.
I would say like a couple ways to spot that would be, number one, how many people in that company started off at a lower position, right? For motivation, it seemed like everybody started off at the entry level position. But if you have a company of 100 people and there's only one person that started off at an entry level position and has a different position now, or has a growth position now, I'm not a fortune teller, but the odds are statistically that's not the culture that's set up. I would look at the positions that are above you, and you can, I mean, obviously in the workplace it's kind of like frowned upon to find out what other people are making, but you can have an idea just by looking at someone, how they carry themselves and things like that. If financially it looks like they're in the same position as you, it's probably not a growth mindset, right? If it looks like that, if you go up to a leader or a manager or somebody who can actually make a decision at your company and you tell them point blank, this is what I'm doing right now, eventually I would like to have XYZ position, and it seems like they're frustrated by it, or if it's anything besides a positive interaction, it's probably not the right place, right?
Exactly. I totally agree with that.
And those would be my 3 ways to spot where growth or a promotion may not be an opportunity there, but doesn't mean that place still can't teach you something to get ready for your next adventure.
Right. And probably a bonus tip that I would love to bring into the topic is, like for me, I've been almost 3 years in the country, in the United States, and people obviously people knows that I grew with motivation, right? What I'm trying to say right now is stop jumping from place to place for $1 more.
Yeah.
For an additional $1. Stop jumping. Stop doing that because you're never gonna grow like that. You're not. It's not because the companies are not gonna. They are not gonna give you the opportunity. It's because you are not waiting the right time. You're not patient enough to actually get into the next level. You know what I mean? So I understand money issues, different things can happen, right? But develop the set of skills that you need to develop in order to get into the next level. For me, that's my personal opinion, right? Don't go into a different place if you didn't, and I think Glenn said it in some way that, are you ready to quit? Did you reach your full potential where you are right now? If you didn't reach your full potential already where you are in that position, whether you are a porter or whatever the case might be, you're not ready. You're
100%.
not ready to quit. You're not ready to make a change. And we're not saying that you need to obey what we're saying. We're just suggesting.
It's just our tips, you know, and I think I would definitely listen to Homer. I mean, dude's been in the country 3 years, and now he's the director of marketing of a multi-million-dollar business. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd listen to Homer. Yeah.
Thank you. Also, one thing that I would love to say is that going back to something that you were saying earlier, is the fact that in some point, and I was talking to someone the other day about this. Of course you know it, but I see motivation 1 or 2 years ago, and where we're standing right now, probably with less people or the same amount of people, probably with some particular team members that are still with us, other people that is not with us, but specifically the patience. If we go back to that particular word, the patience that we all had, because I was in marketing and I was a rookie in that department in the auto industry. You were the general manager and you were a rookie in that position. Even the sales managers, right? So in very particular keys, in very particular key positions or key roles in the leadership, we were all rookies. But when I see this right now,
To the owner is a rookie at owning a business.
exactly. So right now, where we're standing in the future that we're seeing in motivation is just like that. Is what we're saying today is whether you are in the smallest position and you are in the biggest position of your company, there's always room for keep learning.
Yeah, absolutely keep learning and yeah, I think that patience part is key, and I forgot about that, right? And that's kind of like leading back to the first conversation. That's where the instant gratification comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not going to be there right away, and like be patient because it's coming. Because I would have never, in my wildest dreams, thought that this would be the life we're living today,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it all started by washing cars,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's like just like the qualities that are kind of dead, right? The loyalty, the respect, that kind of stuff, I think and patience is going to go a long way.
Right. I totally agree with that. Man, this topic was unexpected, but I really loved it.
I loved it too, man. So let's recap for everybody, right? Couple ways, the few ways that you can grow through your company or get promoted. Number 1, Homer said, be diligent. That's doing all the things that maybe are not expected of you, doing more of the little things that you know you should be doing. What was number 2? I think becoming the best, becoming the best at whatever position you have, and this part really applies everywhere. Number 3, have common sense, right? Think about the situation, boil it down, have a couple different options, make the right decision based on that. Number 4, be patient. Be patient and apply all of the qualities that are dying, like loyalty and things like that. And on the other side, it was also look for those, not really red flags, but look for those qualities in a company where you know that, hey, I'm here just to learn as much as I can, but there is something else out there for me because just based on the statistics, this is not where I can grow. bonus tip: stop jumping for $1, and be patient and see if you could get something more in just a little bit more time. All in all, great topic. You have Homer as a resource. If you have any people can reach out to you directly, right? Like no matter what position they're in. How do you grow? How do you grow through a company? You're more than welcome to contact me. You can reach out to me directly, 678-467-2471. How can people reach out to you, Homer?
You can reach out to me through Instagram, I would say. I love it when people text me through Instagram. You can find me as Homer Lopez. Homer as in Homer Simpson, Lopez as in Jennifer Lopez. I love saying that. This was a great episode. Let's close it out. So remember, you can always go into our social media. You can find us in the biggest platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. You can find us as MotorvationTrucks, and you can listen to us all these episodes and this episode and previous episodes. You can go and listen to those in Spotify, as you can find us as MotorCast. So I really appreciate the time. We love you. We want to meet you. Come check us out. If you don't want to buy, just come say hi.
Yeah, come say what's up. And most importantly, just let us know how we could help you. Like that is the part that would mean the most to me. Drop a comment, send a message, do something to let me know another avenue that I could help you in, or we could help you in.
Perfect. So we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.
Peace out.